Eric.
So we will start the fight, and as usual, we will discuss what we're seeing. We'll score the rounds as we see fit, and we will compare during the breaks. So here we go, round one. I'm looking forward to this.
Fast start from Barerra as well.
It started off the better, I'd say. Barerra is pressing the fight, is moving forward, and they are not messing around. They are straight into it.
Barerra seems the more kind of succinct combination puncher right now. You know, it's the jab, right hand. Morales blocks that, but he comes immediately back with the left uppercut, and that scores flush. Yeah, Barerra was as far as I remember, a converted southpaw, as in he's a natural left-hander, stronger left hand, but he's orthodox, which is why his left jab, his left hook, his left uppercut are so powerful.
Right.
Yeah, as you're kind of saying there, it's a really, really strong, good start from Barerra. He's kind of really taken the first minute. Morales hasn't really found much rhythm.
Yeah, he's landed the better shot so far for me. We're over halfway through the first round. Morales is having success as well, but in the overall scheme of things, I'd say that Barrera's leading currently.
Yeah, definitely.
So the trading against the ropes there. I think Morales might have landed the better shots at that point. You see Barrera's trying to take centre of the ring and dictate where Morales is going, trying to back him up, but he's not giving up. He's not giving him anything. And I think we're going to get this throughout the whole fight.
Yeah, it's almost hard to do commentary for this, because as soon as you start saying something, they've already landed an exchange, and then you're on to the next thing already.
Yeah.
There's been about 10-15 really solid body shots landed in this period. It's just almost impossible to keep up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for us.
Yeah.
This is what we signed up for. I noticed that I think the commentators were touching on it, that Morales might have a bit of a cut on his nose at this point already.
There's a nice right hand to the body.
And there's the
bell, yeah.
There's the needle. Fun first round. So
that was much closer than I remember it, because Morales really finds his range in like the second half of the round, and basically starts to slug with Barerra. He's able to basically land body shots and get in his own left hook.
Yep.
Oh, honestly, I'm struggling to pick a winner here.
I'm going to go with what I'd said after the first half. I think Morales did have a bit more success in that second half of the fight in the last minute, but I think Barerra still kind of maintained what he was doing in the first half of that round as well, so I just edge it to Barerra. Reason, Jesus.
I'm going to go more active, because as you were kind of saying, he was slugging out with Morales, but he was still more busy in like the first minute.
Yeah,
so
that's probably the edge. Yeah, that's a good shout.
I'm only going to go 55-45 though.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
I'm going to have to join you with that one.
an insane amount of action though. I mean, it's head and body though. I mean, they're just punching anything and everything.
So slightly slower start. I guess they can't keep that same pace for the whole fight. So they might give us a bit of breathing room, but not much.
You can see how like technically good the fighters are as well. You know, there's fate in the posturing. You know, Barrera is just those succinct combinations, head body, quickly exit himself.
Oh, that's a great free shot combo there.
Yeah.
Couple of uppercuts. Morales just kind of looked a little bit off at that point. Lost a bit of balance, but he's coming back. He's trying to do something, but none of them are landing too clean.
I think it's such a war, but I think you can even appreciate like defensively they're pretty good at parts. I mean, you know, a 5-shot combination, the one shot gets through, but you know, one shot gets rolled, 3 shots get blocked.
I mean, it helps that they're both tough as hell. You know, they're both sluggers, they're both boxers, they both can take shots. Oh, that's a great combination. Body shots going in for Barrera. Oh, and a couple of clean ones to the head.
Oh, a big right hand. Oh, and then Morales just comes back with his own counter. And then he walks him into an uppercut. See, Morales is counter punching as well. And the Mexican school of boxing is probably one of the most proficient in terms of counter punching because they're so subtle at it. I think Marquez and Canelo nowadays, since like 2000, I know is, you know, two of the great counter punches as their art. But look at Barrera and Morales, and they were maybe not as good because they had different fighting styles, but they were effective at it.
Yeah.
I think this has been a slightly better run for Barrera. I think he's thrown and landed more. I think he's kind of been more efficient in his attacks.
Yeah.
Whereas Morales hasn't had. I mean, Morales has definitely landed some better shots as well, but I think it's Barrera, you know, getting that to the head and body.
Yeah. And that's what that reason. Oh, he landed 2 flush ones on the face there in the last 8 seconds. That reason on the options to select, they landed the cleaner, more effective shots, is pretty much for this fight essentially, where both fighters are, you know, throwing lever, they're both landing, they're both having success, but you know, one of them has to have pretty much been slightly more effective than the other when there's been so many shots thrown and landed. So yeah, I think that was a round for Barrera for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go slightly wider. I'm going to say 60-40 for that one though.
Yeah, I would agree again. We'll try not to always agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, makes sense. Makes sense to me. I guess when you've got the first round as what to compare it to, then it is 60-40, but that could equally be a 55-40, 45 split as well, really.
What you were saying there about the chins as well is pretty important, because I think Barrera had been stopped once before this. Well, it wasn't a stoppage, but it was the disqualification to Junior Jones, but I think obviously his corner ran in, they were going to stop it because, you know, he was out on his feet, he was taking too many right hands, but I don't think Morales had ever been down before. And he was on one of the longest undefeated runs at that time in 2000. I think it was like 30-0.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like just unbelievably tough. And you see the shots Barrera's landing. Barrera has pound for pound obviously one of the hardest left hands in the sport, and I mean, he took those left uppercuts and left hooks like they're absolutely nothing.
Yeah, just kind of bounce back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Keep throwing. His legs always there, not wobbled.
Which is then confirmed by the Pacquiao fight in 2005, where incredible performance.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's some other fights we could possibly look to in the future. Some pretty close and decent fights with Pacquiao involved.
Morales has come back in the combinations now, just tucking them in just kind of behind the elbows to kill their ribs.
Yeah, I think Barrera seems to have, I mean, he's still throwing, but he's not throwing near as much as he has done the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I think so. I think Morales is having a better one in the first half here.
Yeah, I mean he's well, that's a good body shot. There is a bit of a shift of Morales trying to get onto the front foot and take the centre of the ring. Barerra's pushed him back towards the ropes again here, but
Morales is trying to dig the shots inside. I think Barerra's kind of smothering them though.
yeah.
So they're not really getting the full extension. But there you go.
I think
The body again. Oh, there's a beautiful spin around.
this
That's
is
some
just
Lomachenko style footwork.
yeah. But now it's just no messing, just throw. Let's
Yep.
just stand and trade. I think Morales has got the better of that exchange there. He's looking more bouncy and he's just got clocked again though.
Oh, there's a great. That's a perfect left hook there. And he just comes around and then
But
scores with it.
Yeah.
Right hook around the guard. Oh, you just can't even keep up with the action.
Not at all. This is unbelievable. It's fantastic. Oh, what a great uppercut.
Yeah.
Just straight through the guard.
I think Barerra would have changed people's opinions as well. I know he was kind of reforming after those two Junior Jones losses, but people thinking there's no way he can absorb that many shots. I mean, he's taken 10 solid uppercuts and right hooks from the guard in that last kind of 40 seconds there, and he's not even buzzed.
Yeah.
But yeah, much better end from Morales there. Barerra, as you kind of said, holding his own, but I think Morales took that from me. I'm gonna say 60-40 rounds for me.
I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing.
We'll find out at the end of round 4.
Yeah, we'll do round 4. Yeah, after 4 rounds we'll do a break.
It does make you think though, for all people watching this live, this is just the end of round 3. So they wonder what if they really need their in store for all the true great fights.
Yeah. So some good stats there actually. Thank you. Oh, there's a bit of a push and a fall. No knockdown. I think Morales has started off, more active again. I actually didn't notice the scorecard that just popped up then, to be honest. I was watching the action.
I think Leatherman had it 29, 28.
28-2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 Barerra, I think. Not much landing clean here, more kind of defensively aware.
Mm-hmm. This is the first bit of boxing that Morales is doing now. He's teeing off the jab and trying to get the 1-2 in, and
yeah, he's letting his footwork dictate the pace here.
Yeah.
Just kind of pop shot from the outside and then
Barerra just steams forward.
Yep.
And now they go at it in the corner. Good body shots there by Barerra.
good move on Barerra there.
So we've got a minute left. It's another tough one. I think I'm edging it to Morales, and I think it's just purely off output. He seems to be throwing more. Oh, it's a great body shot there though. Good uppercuts in response.
Yeah, Barrera's really focused more on the body in this round.
Yeah.
Whenever he's had the chance, he's just gone straight to the body shots, just those kind of vicious hooks. textbook guard from Barrera there.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of them was blocked.
Oh, there's a right hander there. I forgot.
See, this is really tough because I think, oh, it's a great ending. They both just threw to win that round, then didn't they, at the end? That's really tough.
Yeah, Morales. Excuse me, was kind of making it a slow-paced fight in the first kind of half of the round, but Barrera just went inside the second half. I mean, I thought he landed probably more effective shots in the second half of the round.
Yeah.
To the body. So that would be my edge. I think Barrera kind of stole it. That final minute or so.
Yep, I thought I was going to go with Morales at that stage, but I think I've been swayed by Barrera in that last minute or so. He just seemed more, just more effective and efficient. I guess is the word, efficiency. So let's get the scores up. I've just paused the video because that's obviously 4 rounds in. Now let me try and find where our comparison cards are, and we'll have a look. So it looks like we excuse me. It looks like we both got the same scores. Aha. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see the screen or not. Let's just move that across. And up. Alright, cool. So, scorecard comparison. I've added a few more tweaks. I'm not sure if we've seen this since our last stream, but there is now a colour-coded system, I guess. Each round has a border, and if it is green, it means we've got the exact same scores, the exact same percentages, and the exact same reason. The blue one, I think, is the same score, the same percentage, but a different reason. And then there are a couple of other colours which we might see at some point in the future. So, round 1, as I just said, we both saw it exactly the same. We discussed it. Bone active was the reason that Barrera got the 10-9 score, and it was really close. Next round was a little bit wider for Barrera, who was more effective with his shots, landed the cleaner, more effective shots, and we slightly differed in round 3, but again we got the same winner for Morales. I decided to go with the effective counter punching just because, like I said, it looks like he started boxing a bit clever. Barrera was still winging him in, and then occasionally Morales would be able to counter him quite nicely. That made the difference for me. And you just went with landed the cleaner, more effective shots. We had the same percentages. I think the percentages are always going to be around this 60-40, 55-45 for this fight, aren't they? Because I'm pretty sure most rounds are equally as competitive as these 4. Yep, and in that last round we got the same again, exactly the same. So 10-9 Barrera, he landed the more effective shots. Like I said, I thought potentially Morales was going to edge that one for me after 2 minutes of the fight. So there we go. Let's continue. So then, round 5.
This is one of the great rounds.
Straight into it.
Yep.
Oh, it's a good So a good start for Morales. He's thrown a few, landed a few. Again, it's kind of following the same pattern as the last 2 rounds, I think, where Barrera's being a bit more efficient with the shots he's throwing. Morales slightly busier. He just caught him with a good right there. And I can't even count how many shots they just threw there on the ropes.
Just insane combinations.
Barrera just seems to be timing Morales coming in perfectly a few times in this round. And then Morales just comes back with his own flurry of shots.
Yeah, it's just around the guard.
Yeah.
As soon as he pierces the guard, he just continues his attack. Just lethal him in 2 right, 3 solid right hands, 4.
And again, he's
Just around the guard.
carries on.
Yeah, Jim Lopez just said it there. He continues the attack, and yeah, there's honestly been about 10 solid shots, and that's probably over 10 now, maybe 11.
Yeah, and you can see Barrera, he is feeling them, but he's just will to stay up and not.
Anyone else probably should have been down by now.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an insane Jim.
And now he's just turned him, and he comes back with his own assault. Unreal.
And then left hook. And I think as well that this is the first time in the fight that both guys have been stunned. I think Barrera's hurt, but I think the right hand left hook is what basically Morales feels there, because he just kind of, just for a second, I think just a quick stun just kind of has that quick recovery, but
yeah,
I think he feels that shot. Yeah, it's a good turnaround from Barrera, but it's such a strong Morales round. He's landed them by maybe 30 shots.
He just winged in a massive right hand then. Barrera's just doing a little dig on the break.
And there's a great left hook count to end the round.
Brilliant.
See, it's a strange one because Barrera does so well in the round, yet it's almost impossible to ignore the fact that Morales have landed him probably by about 20 shots.
Yeah.
I think Barrera was in trouble for longer, so it almost feels harsh, but in a way, it feels like it's. You watch it and it feels like it's 55-45, if that makes sense, but if you're scoring it as a judge, it feels like it's probably more 60-40.
Yeah.
You could maybe even argue 65-35, because it almost is like, 2/3 of the round is won by Morales, and the 1/3 won by Barrera. It's strong, because obviously he's landed good shots, but yeah.
Man,
very seldom is a better round than conducting a boxing round.
Than that, yeah. Unreal. I mean, just the stamina on him just to throw that many shots as well as not going down and just having that will to keep going. It's incredible.
And Lederman gave it to Barrera there, which is just showing how Barrera can steal these rounds in the last kind of minute.
Yeah.
Barrera often lands the solid shots in the last 10 seconds as well.
Yeah.
Make sure he lands that good right hand to left hook or combination, because it is the last thing the judges will see.
Just landed a nice shot there.
Yeah, that's a really nice right hand. And then back at it.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. You don't begrudge him slowing it down a little bit in this round.
Yeah. I think to a certain degree, Morales had to have emptied the tank quite a bit in that last round, because he really did throw about 50, maybe 50 punches,
Yeah.
and how many of them were literally everything he had on him trying to take Barrera out there. And it's Barrera now kind of going back to left hook to the body, trying to wear Morales down more.
So we're into the second half of this round. What we're thinking? Oh, that's a nice attack.
Yeah. Barrera, I think Barrera's kind of shown that he can box Morales as much as Morales can kind of slug with him. Both are just as capable as the other, but when the pace slows down here, Barrera's thrown and landed more those solo body shots, which aren't really appreciated as much as headshots, but they are scoring punches.
Yeah.
And he's done very well here, because it's all this working on breaking Morales down.
Yeah, it's
a nice counter jab there as well.
Like I said, I think at the slower pace, it's more suited for Barrera to use his boxing brain a bit more.
Yeah.
And then Morales is going forward. Last 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think he just fell short of the right hand there. Barrera came back, finished with left hook on the inside. Tried to time the uppercut there. I still think Barrera did enough in that round. I know Jim Lampley was saying there that he hadn't done much, but I think you gotta count those body shots.
Yeah.
I don't think Morales was busy enough. There wasn't miles of activity between them though. I'm still gonna say 55-45 for Barrera for me.
Alright. Look at these upcoming fights. Interesting.
De La Hoya, Hamed, Mayweather, all in their probably in their primes as well. As we're kind of Morales. I think some people might argue Barrera's their featherweight, but that's neither here nor there. But the 2000 kind of pound for pound, the world champions was something quite insane, really.
Yeah. Some top talent.
I mean, a lot of those guys would do damage to a lot of the world champions nowadays.
Okay, into the second half of the fight then. Just a 12 rounder this time.
Yeah, it opens with just a brilliant left uppercut there.
So last round, Lederman gave it to Morales.
Morales going back to work, head and body, trying to trade a bit on the inside.
Yeah, the shot there that rocked his head back, and the uppercut. Barrera's head back, that is.
Yeah, Morales did have a pretty tremendous uppercut.
He had them long arms, then he generates that.
He's really looking for the kind of antidote to that defense, though. It's Barrera making himself small and that looked better than it was, because Morales really picked him off a lot of those shots off from the ropes there. Yeah, you can see Morales is almost targeting just behind the gloves. Like, he's landed about 2 of those right hooks.
Yeah.
And it's just behind the gloves, right on the jaw. Obviously, it doesn't get the full power, but it is a scored shot.
Yeah, Barrera's looking a little bit ragged. He's just kind of shelling up, isn't he? Trying to walk forward a bit, and then Morales is just, like I say, he's winging him in around the guard.
Yeah, I think you mentioned this earlier, and you were saying about how tough Barrera is and how good his chin is, but I'm not sure if maybe Morales stunned him with one of those shots earlier on, and that's why he's kind of tucked up so much.
Yeah. Respectful of the power, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got him a couple of good shots there.
Yeah, those uppercuts, especially the full-on right uppercuts there. That is unreal how Barerra's taking those and still walking forward though.
So last 30 seconds, I think this is a clear Morales round, probably possibly the clearest one so far.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Just kind of backing off, having a bit of a rest. And again, they're both coming forward for this last 15 seconds or so. Oh, great exchange at the end.
Yeah.
Great exchange. I've never been a fan of that, where they try and steal the round by like flurrying for the last 10 seconds. I know it can be effective, but not for me.
Yeah, I would echo what you said there. I think you hit the nail on the head. That I think that's the first Morales round it's the first round of the fight that's kind of clear, in the sense that besides that last flurry, Barrera's kind of been outworked for the majority of it. It might be the first round that Morales kind of controlled in a sense, because Barerra just didn't really land what he wanted to.
Yeah, I was thinking that he did seem the dictator in there, didn't he? I've gone for landing the cleaner, more effective shots for that one, but equally controlled the action did cross my mind.
Yeah, I was on that same thing. I was thinking 50-50 which one I can pick here.
You just saw the replay then of the shot against the rope, where he said it looked more effective than it was, and it just like grazed the chin. I think it just looks more dramatic when he's leaning back on the ropes.
Yeah, it's almost like you see the right hand land there, but it's the follow-ups where he kind of does the Fury versus Tom Schwartz. You just kind of use the shoulders and you roll the punches there, just to kind of mitigate the damage. Not to compare Morales to Tyson Fury. We're not quite there yet.
No. So we're already nearly a minute into this round 8. Some good shots there by Barerra. He's coming forward a bit more intent now. He probably knows that he might have lost them last couple of rounds.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is round 8 is the kind of point where I think a lot of there's been a few definitive rounds in this fight, and I think both of them have been won by Morales.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you know, if everything else is close, that you can't really let the fight slip away.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, first minute, some decent work by Barerra. Imagine these guys landing full punches as hard as they can after everything they've already been through. Oh, how is Morales taking that flush?
It's just like the perfect 1-2 combination, and he's
ready to just
tuck it and carry on.
Yep.
He's landed a few again there, Barerra.
Yep.
So going into this final minute, it's clear for me as a Barerra round. Obviously still time for it to change.
Yeah, it's almost like a repeat of the last round, but
reversed.
With the tides turning in favor of Barerra. Yeah.
Agree. Nice body work again.
Yeah, it's that long right hand to the body, and then her going back to the hooks.
Oh, some nice shots going in at the end.
It really is almost a repeat in the last round where Barerra has won the majority of the round, but Morales coming back with the...
Just landed a straight right flush right on the chin, and he, like last time, he just took it, stayed there. Morales, unreal. So that's the end of round 8. I will pause. and then I'll get my score in, and then we'll do a comparison. Let's have a look at the side by side, and I'll do a refresh. Okay, round 5. Now then, we've got a few less colours now, which is good. So round 5, we both got the same winner by the looks of it. Yep, Morales 10-9. You picked 60-40. Sorry, no, I picked 60-40. I just had to go and check which card's which then. Yeah, I gave it 60-40 to Morales. You gave it 65-35. Yeah, there was that was the first most clear round we gave to Morales, wasn't it? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, that's right.
And again, we had round 7, which I think we suggested was a pretty clear Morales round. Round 6. This was the one I decided to sit on the fence a bit. I gave it a 10-10, which I don't know what your feelings are on 10-10. I know a lot of people don't like it. I think we don't have enough 10-10 rounds, and I thought that was as close a round as there could be. It wasn't quite as action-packed as these last couple of rounds, but there were, I think both men landed both about as equally as it could be, really. For me, it was a 10-10 round. What are your thoughts on 10-10s?
It's a strange one. Personally, I don't use them myself. I think I'm more of a kind of a boxing conservative in that sense. I know the majority of judges won't use it, so I tend to try and be a bit more official. I haven't put too much thought into it. It's not the end of the world. I think people use them, to be honest, especially in fights where, like this or some of the other kind of fights throughout the years where have been kind of big wars. Sometimes you just can't tell.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to use it as much as I can, but there are a lot of rounds where in fights that I'm watching where it's really hard to separate them, and it kind of feels like a lot of the judges, because they feel like they have to award a winner, and it always seems to end up going to the house fighter or whoever's the champion, and it just really grates on me because like sometimes you can get a really close fight where there's a lot of very even rounds, and at the end of it they've all gone one way, and it just looks like not a close fight. And I think more 10-10 rounds should be not deemed as inappropriate as they are, I guess. Anyway, moving on, round 7. You gave it quite wide there to Morales, 70-30. That's it was a clearer round. I gave it 60-40, but also to Morales. You suggested he did control the action, and I gave the landed cleaner shots, or the more effective shots. And then pretty much, as you said at the end of that round 8, it was the reverse of the previous round, and that's what we both did.
Yeah.
We've both got 50-50. If you have a look at the very bottom, the average split percentages is 50-50, which is quite interesting. Exactly 50-50 each. I've got 76-77 in favour of Barerra because of that even round. You've got 75-77 for Barerra. Going into the last 4. So let's carry on.
These guys must have been shattered and tired beyond belief. Like, this fight must have hurt for absolutely weeks.
Definitely. That was an interesting observation. He closes his eyes.
It was funny last night with Adam Smith after the knockdown was saying, and Liam Williams is blinking. I'm like, have you seen an interview with him, or have you ever seen Liam Williams? That's his thing.
Yeah,
literally.
It's just a natural thing for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great combination for Barrera. Morales, like you say, continuously does it. It seems like he gets buzzed and his instinct is just, fuck it, throw back. just do something. Oh. Again, I think Barrera's got the better of them exchanges just now.
Yep.
Can't quite make out what the crowd are chanting there. And you can hear the thuds of that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just an unreal amount of action. Back to the uppercuts of Morales.
Thudding in, yeah. I mean, the 2 rounds have swung, haven't they? The first 2 minutes. First minute would seem to be Barrera piling it on. Morales has got the better of this minute by the looks of it.
And then the hook again. And they just slip and slide him.
Blood on the face of Barrera now.
I think you hit the nail on the head. There's, Barrera kind of beat up Morales in the first minute. Morales beat Barrera up in the second minute, and it's up to the last minute here.
Yeah.
I think Morales is still continuing his strong stride though, just getting around the guard.
Yeah. Just dipped out of the way of that swinging left.
And a big right from Barrera as well. Oh, another right from Barrera. Yeah. And then Morales had the first 30 seconds of the last minute. It looks like Barrera might take the last 30 seconds.
Yeah. How do you split them? Please, 10-10. Am I allowed a 10-10?
Yeah. Oh, I think that first time Morales, was properly hurt as well.
That's it, isn't it?
That is how you win the round.
Yep. Okay, so what I was saying before, don't like it, leave it to the last minute. I mean, they definitely didn't leave it to the last minute there, but just that little pile-on at the end was probably swung it for him, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You can see Morales there in the corner, he looks knackered.
Yeah. I think that's the first time I'll ever have around 55-45, and the reasons they put it in trouble, because he literally hit that left hook in the last 5 seconds, and you saw Morales sag for a second, and immediately he had to kind of lean his back on the ropes just to make sure he was upright, and then you kind of said what he does when he gets hurt or gets buzzed is just lean against the rope and then just try and trade back and get the guy off him.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get the solos. That was a great turnaround from Barrera. Well, that was just unreal.
It was a great round overall, wasn't it? It was like a perfect boxing round of action.
Yeah.
Back and forth. I think I've done my scores. Have I done my scores? There we go. Confirm. Okay, round 10 into, well, not the championship rounds just yet, but nearly.
Still throwing combinations. That's a good right.
Noticed as well, Morales always tends to throw coming out of clinches more effectively, doesn't he? He always, as they're backing out, he cuffs around the back of the guard, and he always seems to land something.
Yeah.
So it was great body shot.
Yeah, Barrera's a proper head, body, body, head guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it just switches up the combination, all switch on the attack. Barerra's also quite. It sounds strange, but the long range right hand, he's very good at timing it. You often see him turn away or duck just in time.
Yeah.
As Morales has that kind of medium range right hook around the guard and the right uppercut kind of on the inside. He doesn't really have. He's not able to get the full extension when he's throwing the jab and right hand because Barerra seems to time it.
Oh, good uppercut there. And now they're just standing there. Let's fight. Man, that's a difficult one. This one. We're into the into the second half of the round.
I think we kind of touched on this.
Sorry, cut you off there. Go on.
I think we touched on this beforehand, but talking about fake beefs nowadays and real rivalries. Imagine hating someone you're willing to do all this.
Yeah, like you say.
Crazy.
Jeez, it is almost like the pride is just getting him through. Oh, landed a telling shot there, staggered him a bit. I'm not sure if he actually was fully hurt there, Morales, but more of he kind of got pushed at the same time as being punched, and he kind of went off balance. I mean, he's still throwing back.
Yeah, it was weird. I think the shot he felt, but he was also off balance at the same time. Yeah. I mean, you kind of said that he was actually off balance. He was pushed off, but the shot landed, and I think he did feel it.
Yeah.
You can often tell because, like you said, he goes back to the ropes and then he wants to immediately land
throw back.
The hardest shot. Yeah. Oh, this has just been another insane round.
Yeah.
The second half of this fight is seemingly weird because when they're tired for a large part of it, they seem to just throw the hardest shots they can.
Yeah, it goes against all logic. Man, I'm struggling for this round. Really struggling. I was going to touch on Naz as well, because obviously Barerra was the first man to beat Naz.
Yeah.
I think he was the only man to beat Naz in the end, but
yeah, first and only.
Effectively retired him, didn't he? And this was prior to that, wasn't it? So, and I can't remember going into that fight who was the favourite. Maybe we just added British bias that Naz was going to go over there and knock him out, but that didn't happen.
Hamed was, I think, at like a 3.5 to 1. No, I think Barerra was like a 3.5 to 1 underdog.
Yeah.
So it was fully expected that Hamed was obviously Barerra was stepping up to featherweight, and that Hamed was just going to knock him out because, I mean, Hamed was an orthodox. He often got put down. Didn't look great in his last few fights, but he had that equalizer. Because I think the fight before Barerra was the fight against Augie Sanchez, who beat Mayweather in the amateurs, and he was a decent professional. And Augie Sanchez left him a stretcher. He hit him with a left hook that hard. So, I mean, the power he was generating was insane, but Barerra was not to be beaten that night.
Oh, that's a great shot.
And 2 right hands there, just one fault. And then Barerra comes back with his own. You just can't keep up with it. It is just unreal.
It's interesting. Not quite as clean this round, is it? It's a bit scrappier, not as much happening, not as much significant landing, but again, both going forward, both are throwing.
Yeah, when they do land it, it's tit for tat. Morales lands when Barerra comes back.
I think I'm edging to Morales in this one. He seems a bit more busier and a bit more
I was going to say the exact same
meaningful
thing, just for the first half of the round. Just throwing landed that bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I was still mulling over the previous round, to be honest, at the start for the first 15, 20 seconds, because that last round was really difficult. Wonder if judges are ever in that position where they're like still mulling over at the previous round, being distracted.
Yeah, that's the thing about judges as well, is that they have so little time to think, because the referee will collect their scorecards as soon as the round ends.
Yeah.
And then obviously it gets handed over to the guy who tallies them, scorecard keeper. Not his official title. Like, you must be sitting there thinking, my god, like, they've just battered the absolute shit out of each other, and then the referee's like, come on mate, hand over that scorecard. Was it 10-9, who was it for? And you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to have to put something down.
Yeah. Champion, who's the champion?
To be fair, we joke about that, but I think that's happened probably quite a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Someone will just go, oh, well, 50-50, champion gets benefit of the doubt. And
exactly. That's why I don't mind the even rounds sometimes, but there you go. Man, I think Barrera's last bit of action there might have just swung it. This is tricky. I almost feel like I'm being tested as well.
Yeah, I think you kind of said Barrera really pulled it out in the kind of last kind of closing seconds there as well. It's not a close one though.
So what for that, go on.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's all right. You carry on.
I was gonna say it's Morales in that left eye that always swells. You know, the Maidana fight, it was closed at the end of round 1.
Yeah. Did you say 3 rounds to go? I think he meant 3 minutes, did he?
Yeah.
And here we go. Leaving it in the ring.
Barrera seems to have a bit more here, and I think this is the clearest. Morales has been hurt though, and then it's Barrera lands those big left hooks, and then the legs go for a second, and immediately goes back to the body with the liver. And you're thinking, oh, there's nothing worse when you're hurt to the chin, and then someone will hit you with the liver shot.
As well.
That basically should effectively stop you.
Yeah. Morales comes back.
Yeah.
Some good shots there from Morales. One into the head and body.
Yeah, just on the toes, kind of in and out.
Yeah, a bit of a chaotic start, but I think Morales is kind of looking a little bit more sprightly, a bit more. I mean, he's been walked down by Barrera, but he kind of looks like.
Yeah.
Morales kind of is fighting a little bit like he knows he's ahead on points, doesn't he? He wants to kind of stay out the way of anything.
Yeah.
But maybe counter.
Yeah, maybe just kind of out on the outside, kind of pot shot.
Yeah.
Maybe win the round 10-9, or even lose it 10-9, and then. Yeah,
well, some good.
One of the biggest shots of the fight.
He sagged a bit as well, Morales.
Yep.
Oh, and he's down. Touches down. I think a punch did land. Oh, he's ran forward though. Last 10 seconds. They're still absolutely throwing leather. Wow.
Yeah, it's just an incredible fight.
I mean, that's something that every boxing gym in any country in the world should have a video of. And as soon as they get new members who show a bit of promise, they need to show that fight to them, don't they?
Yeah, just unbelievable.
So I guess that was a definitive round, just purely for the knockdown at 10-8.
Which I think is a bit of a shame, really. I think they show it on the replay, and I think it is more of a kind of like a push down. Like Morales kind of off balance. It's not exactly
a fully fledged.
Yeah, and if obviously that hadn't happened, I think the round would be a bit more up for grabs. I think Morales was hurt with the left hook, which is why I think.
That's a great left hook.
I think that exchange right there is why Barrera wins the round. He did have Morales in trouble.
Yeah.
I think the 10-8's a bit harsh. There's the left.
Yeah, you kind of feel a bit cruel to give him the 10-8 and that, but you know, it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a glancing.
It's almost like he ducks into his waist.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly what you said. Yeah, he's kind of gone into him with his hip, hasn't he? And then he's.
I think Barrera's going to look for the headlock as well, you know, to make sure he doesn't like punch him after he misses the hook, but then literally he just loses his balance. Yeah. Not a great call from the challenger. Mike Tyson didn't have too many kind words to say about him and his performances as a referee. You go 160, 111, 8-4 rounds for Barrera.
Okay, while we're announcing the winners, I'm going to put our scores on the screen. I was just thinking, you know, it looks so wide on the cards, and the fight was so close.
Yeah.
It seems harsh. Let's just listen to the scores and then we'll have a look at ours.
Bay of Las Vegas. We go to the scorecards and we have a split decision.
Split decision, wow.
Dwayne Ford scores about 114 to 113 for Barrera.
So he'd had a draw. It wasn't a 10-8.
114 to 113 for Morales. And Dolby Shirley scores the bout 115 to 112 for the unified champion by split decision. Es Sonora de Tijuana, Mexico.
Yeah, wow. See Barrera there. Certainly not happy. And you can understand why. So that must have been controversial at the time. I don't recall, to be honest. Do you have any insight into the aftermath of this?
Yeah, it's still quite a controversial decision to this day. I think the vast majority have Barrera winning. It seems weird that it's almost like a fight that close is a lot of people would struggle to call a robbery, but I think Barrera takes the vast majority of the second half, and he's bound to win a few of the first rounds as well. So it does seem that he wins maybe at least 7 rounds. I'll have to go through my card again. But obviously there was a strange dichotomy where Barrera seemed to win the first fight, Morales got a decision. Then they had the rematch where Morales seemed to win the fight, and then Barrera got the decision. So they kind of inverted it. You know? It's almost like they had different robberies, some people say, but a very entertaining fight. It was fun to rewatch, and
yeah, definitely fun to rewatch, and like I said at the start, a bit different to heavyweight boxing, which is equally as entertaining and as fun, but it's just a different level, isn't it? You know, the sheer amount of volume of punches, just non-stop excitement pretty much.
Yeah.
And the fact that because they're not such big guys, they can throw that many and also take as many shots as well, just makes for better viewing in my opinion. So let's have a look at our scorecards from round 9 onwards. And again, we've got some variations of colours there, so I can explain them as we go on. We've both got the same score for round 9, so in favour of Antonio Barrera. Both the same percentages. I think I've done mine wrong. Looking at that, it should be 55 to Barrera, and I've accidentally put 55 to Morales, so that's a mistake on my part.
Yeah.
So,
That's alright, I made a mistake myself.
So that's that one. Oh yeah, that's the one I chose that you said had the opponent in trouble, so that was the one at the very end of the round, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that I chose that as a significant punch combination rather than being in trouble. It's kind of the same thing. It was the differentiator for that round.
Yeah, it's the big left at the end of the round that basically swings it in a close one.
Yeah, and again in the next round there was another punch that kind of stood out to me, and I think it was the one where I said that he caught him but he looked more off balance, but it was still kind of a glancing blow that Morales felt.
Yeah.
So I decided to use that because I think the round was so close. Other than that was the standout bit for me. We had the same percentages. You chose the landed clearer, more effective shots for Barrera. I've also just noticed on this that Antonio Barrera's both his names are on this, whereas it's just Morales for some reason, so I'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Round 11 then, 10-9 to Barrera. We both got that. We both had the same percentage. Ultra razor thin, close rounds. We knew this going in. I chose it was a bit more active in that one. I think that was the round where a little bit less was going on, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think he nicked it at the end, didn't he, Barrera? And obviously then the final round was the harsh knockdown. And I like the fact that you've given it so close on the percentages. And really, that I should have done that. And I gave it 70-30 purely because it was a 10-8 round. So that's just how, in my mind, I feel like the percentage slider has to go. But it probably does make more sense to use it in the sheer closeness of the round rather than the knockdown wasn't really all that devastating or significant. So yeah, our totals were similar to what I think Lederman had it 116, 110, didn't he? We've got it almost the same, but I had the even round, so 111 to 117, and you had 110 to 117. The percentages very similar, very close. Well, when it was most of them rounds were pretty much 45-55, weren't they? So ultra razor thin close rounds. It just seems really a wide scoreline, doesn't it? That when really the fight was so close and so even, and then the other guy won that was behind on both of our cards. So
Yeah.
This is boxing, I guess. But at least I did it 2 more times.
Yeah, to kind of give us that final closure. I think, in summation, it is one of the all-time great fights. Obviously, we're two very kind of distinct, different people in terms of our scorecards. Obviously, we've only scored a few fights together. But I think what is interesting is how similar we've had it. Very similar scoreline, very similar percentages. To almost kind of quantify it in a sense. I do think what's interesting is that obviously the Mario Sanchez remaster that we watched here, obviously it's very good, it's very clear.
Yep.
I think he made a comment as well where he said that when it's clearer, there it is. The more I watch this fight, especially in 60 FPS,
Let me just put it onto the
screen.
screen, sorry. There you go. Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
It's the top comment.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it says, where you see what land and what doesn't land it much easier. I think a Barrera one isn't nearly as clear as what was mentioned. Obviously, that's his take, that's fair enough, but I actually think the Barrera one is clearer, funnily enough.
Yeah.
Obviously, opinions are opinions, but I think Barrera sweeps 5 of the last 6, I think. And then, I mean, the first half is also a war. All you have to do is give him, those couple of rounds, and I think Barrera takes the first 2 rounds as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the first 2 rounds as well. So
yeah, I was just gonna go over to your scorecard actually in our group, just so people can see how it's done. So I can click on view card, so we can see yours just on its own, a little bit clearer, I guess.
So yeah, I think it's pretty unanimous that Barrera took the first 2, and then if he took maybe 5 of the last 6. It seems that he probably took 7 rounds.
Yeah.
So I think, I don't think it was a great decision. I think especially the 8-4 for Morales card. I disagree with that.
Yeah, I think it was quite clear how we scored it, and to interpret it, I mean, there were close rounds, but at the same time, the way that we've edged it to one fighter was kind of clear enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, massively controversial. I'm not too sure if, like you said at the start, Morales had the longest undefeated streak as a champion at this point, and this maybe he was the A side, and the whichever stable he was part of, or TV station or promoter, maybe there was some kind of protection going on, like we see continually to this day. You never know.
Yeah, I think so. What is interesting, I've looked at the round by round on the website, which obviously has kind of averages of all the scorecards submitted for the fight as data. What's really interesting is that there seems to be 4 clear Morales rounds, and then round 10 seems to be the kind of split, 50% of users favouring either. So it does seem the average user of the website, at best, will maybe give Morales 5 rounds. So as we kind of said, it seems that Barrera, on average, wins at least 7 rounds. So,
yeah. Yeah, interesting.
The data kind of verifies our kind of claim that I think Barrera was probably hard done by.
Yeah. Well, like we said, at least he got to go at it another 2 times, and I think we'll definitely be watching them. Whether we do that in our next streams and we will just continue this trilogy, or maybe we can save them for their specific anniversaries, we'll decide. We'll see what else is out there and available at certain times when we decide to do the next streams. But this is definitely a trilogy that we're going to watch all 3 fights, no doubt.